Hello, my love. So I want to take you through what a sun salutation looks like. And this is a yogic basic practice that can be done whenever you need to move energy. It's super simple, but in saying that, there are modifications that you can put in place to help the practice be a little bit more palatable. And what I mean by that is that you can take this practice from a very simple way of doing, and then you can push it all the way up to a really strong technical practice as well. So what I want to do right now is just teach you the very basics of foot placement, and know that as you're progressing through these very ancient methodologies and technologies, that you can, regardless of what you're going through in your life, change the practice to suit your own needs. So when I was injured, my practice looked very different to when I was fit and healthy. When I'm on my cycle, my practice looks very different to that when I'm ovulating. So there's always changes happening in my body and my life, and I adjust my practice accordingly. But know that what I'm teaching you right now are the very basics, and so we can go through modifications and things as we progress through the course. This is a basic sun salutation practice, and so if you want any other advice from other yogis, you can just type it into Google, sun salutation, and see what comes up for you and find a practice that resonates and works with you. So to begin with, you'll stand with your feet, and I teach at hip distance apart. So you're breathing in as you're lifting your hands up. You're breathing out as you folding halfway from the hip. You're bending your knees to give yourself a little bit of reprieve in through the lower back. So you're breathing out and you're folding. Now the fold is really important. You're tucking your chin in and you're letting your crown fall down to the ground. And we're doing this so that the blood flow can reach through to the crown of the head, energetically speaking. As you breathe in, you're straightening your legs and bringing your hands to rest onto the tops of the knees, the bottoms of the thighs, and you're creating somewhat of a tabletop in through the back. And then as you fold again, you're stepping your left foot back, right? You're placing your hands flat on the ground, and then you're drawing your right foot to meet your left, and you're bending your knees and placing them on the ground. And then we're just gonna bend the elbows slightly. You're gonna press up and press into down dog, and then gently walking forward to where you started. Halfway lift to tabletop. Fold, let the crown of the head reach the ground, bend your knees a lot to allow for space, and then gently roll up. Breathing in, arms lift up to the sky. Breathing out, folding, hinging from the hips. Inhale, halfway lift, tabletop through the back. Exhale, fold, crown of the head reaches down. Stepping your right foot back, hands flat on the ground. Left foot back, drop your knees. Breathing in, hold. Breathing out, slight little bend in through the elbows. Press it back up. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Walk the feet forward, halfway lift, fold. All right, so you got the visual from my hips, which I think is one of the most important parts to actually see. If I were to film you here, you're going to see a completely different visual. Still keep the hips moving in that same way. So you're hinging from the hips and then extending up. The only difference now is you're going to be able to see the whole of my body, all right? So as I'm breathing in, I'm lifting my arms up to the sky. As I'm breathing out, I'm swan diving forward. As I'm breathing in, I'm lifting up to a halfway lift, hands onto the thighs. Exhale, fold. Your left foot steps back, your right foot joins. You bend your knees, tiny little baby bend in the elbows, press up, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. And then gently walk your feet to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, fold, breathing in, rolling up through the spine, arms lift up to the sky. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, legs long, spine long, release. Right foot steps back, hands flat, left foot joins, knees touch the ground, slight little bend, press it up, tuck the toes under, down dog, and walk forward. All right, so that's the second way, or the second visual. So you've seen it from the hips, now you've seen it from the front, and now I want to explain to you how your breath interlaces with the movement, okay? So you're breathing in, and so on the days that you don't want to move the body, say you're on your cycle or you're feeling depleted, you can do this practice kneeling, which is really great. So knees hip distance apart. As you're breathing in, you're coming up onto the knees. As you're breathing out, you're coming back down onto your hunches. As you're breathing in, you're lifting the chest up. As you're breathing out, you're rolling through the chest, just like we did cat-cow. As you're breathing in, hold. As you're breathing out, roll. As you're breathing in, come back up to center. As you're breathing out, hold. As you're breathing in, come up to knees. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Hold. All right. So it's a very basic way of starting to get the energy moving around the body. There is a lot of different reasons why we do sun salutations. One of the reasons I love the most is because you don't really have to think about it. Once you've gotten into the habit of learning what comes after what, then you can do a sun salutation without needing my guidance. You can do it any time of day or night. Ideally, you're doing it in the morning. Sun salutes, right? You're saluting the sun. You're saluting the yang within you. And so the sun representing the yang, which is the start of the day, which is all of the energy and the fire that you're bringing to your day, you're actually warming the body up. So you can do it at night. It's really not a big deal, but just know that you may feel a lot of energy pulsing through your body after you've completed a sun salute. So my suggestion, if you are going to create a ritual from this, is that you do your sun salutation after your mantra. So you do mantra, sun salutes, breath work, meditation. And you could do it in that order, perhaps over the next couple of days, and see if it works for you. See if that order really does feel good for you. I say that order because you wake up in the morning, the mantra is going to wake you up, right? You're using your throat, you're singing, you've actually got some sort of affirmation going. Then you're warming up the body and you're doing some sort of physical practice. From there, you're sitting in pranayama, you've moved the body, you've exercised the lungs from a physical perspective, and now it's time to actually integrate the breath and relax it and calm it down again. So you can do the box breathing, which I've put a link in your resources as well, or you could do the belly breath that we practiced before. You could also complete that with some cat-cow to get the spine moving to begin with, and then go into your sun salutes. If you're doing the modified version of a sun salutation, the the very modified version, which I just showed you on your knees, then you just stay where you are and continue with that over the course of, 4 or 5 rounds. And then after that, go into your meditation. You can press play on the sacral chakra meditation that I've given you as well as part of your resources, and have that as your little ritual that you can practice over the next few days. Now, traditionally, Sun Salutations were done over the course of 108 rounds. So you did 108 Sun Salutations in a round. So you don't have to do that. That's like a marathon. And how many times do you do this? Well, it just depends on how much energy and time you have. So my practice is normally twice on each side. I always start with the left, then go to the right leg. So you step back with the left first, meet the right, or right meets the left, bend the knees. Now, and then bend through the elbows and press up. I've taught you the very modified version. There is another version that we will go into at a later date, which takes you down into a cobra pose where you're resting on your belly and you're opening up through the chest. But this very modified version is one of the best ways I know how to teach, because of 2 things. Firstly, the little bend in the elbows. When you're practicing the little bend in the elbows, your hands are flat and you're brushing your elbows past your body, tiny little bend, and then pressing it up. Don't flail your elbows out, because that's going to defeat the purpose of strengthening through the tricep muscle, so that when you get to the point where you're actually lowering all the way down into, say, a knees, chin, and chest pose, which we will talk about in future modules, but you're strengthening through the tricep, through the push-up. And I, in my experience, have found that without the strength in that tricep muscle, we tend to fall down to the ground, which can create issues from the falling. But also what we try and do in the midst of that falling is we try and save ourselves and actually injure ourselves in ways that are unnecessary. So if anything from this Sun Salute, you're going to get the breath, the breathing in, the breathing out, the breathing in, breath per movement. So every breath brings about a movement, and you're also going to start strengthening through that little tricep muscle at the back of the arm. I would be more than happy to do this with you live. I would be more than happy to watch a recording of yours and give you some tips as to how you can make it safer. It's very difficult for me to teach you a yoga practice and ensure that you're doing it in the correct way without me seeing you. So if that is something you want to do, then shoot it across and let me have a look. And just know that this is all about integrating the breath with movement to activate energy. So you can't do it wrong, you just need to do it safely. Don't push yourself past what you feel comfortable doing, and always reach out to me if you've got any questions. And if you want any other reputable sources for these practices, I'm just going to pop 2 or 3 links. I don't want to overwhelm you, but 2 or 3 links to other teachers that I respect and revere, and they will be able to guide you through some other practices if you feel you want to take it that one step further. All right, my loves. Mwah. Thanks so much. Bye.